Hey, Master Reviews here for today's review, and boy, is this one I've been waiting to actually talk about. Today, the Earth blew up a Looney Tunes movie. This has probably been one of my most hyped movies I've been waiting for a very long time, right from the very moment I've learned about it. And yeah, fine. It feels good to it's finally been released. I mean, look, I'm not gonna talk about all the the amount of how the Warner Bros. Is basically trying has been utilizing well their catalog of content outside of Justice League, us how DC and Harry Potter. But when it comes to the Looney Tunes, yeah, they're still people still they are still relevant, but they don't get utilized that much. And I mean, we all know about the just the amount of how Warner Bros. Are basically trying to keep everyone from being able to see Coyote versus Acme. And yeah, I do want to see that get one day get released, but in my view, I don't need to see it because this is the one I've been waiting for the most. A fully animated movie, not having live action, not doing any compilations. This is a fully feature-length Looney Tunes movie released in theaters, starring their best, in my view, their most iconic duo of all their characters, Daffy Duck and Porky Pig. Now, I'm a huge Looney Tunes fan, in, and yeah, I mean, I was excited for this, and Daffy in particular is one of my favorite characters. Is my favorite Looney Tune. Daffy Duck is just insane. I love both sides of him, and pretty much at least of all my favorite Looney Tunes cartoons, I think my top 10, at least 6 or 7 of them, is going to feature Daffy Duck. In my view, I just love love that character. Um, and Porky's always been a great favorite too. I think among my top 5 Looney Tune characters, I think he's definitely in the top. He's definitely in the top 5. I just don't know where he fits along. Say, Bugs, Elmer, well, obviously Daffy's number 1, and Tasmanian Devil, but and there are others too, But yeah, I love. In many ways, they were the first great duo of the Looney Tunes, and see them get a feature film together is really appealing, and I was excited to see. And yeah, I'll basically go over the plot. So, Daffy and Porky are trying to save their family, their childhood home, from being bulldozed to the ground, and so they need to raise enough money to pay for the repair of a roof in order to pass inspection. And they have trouble keeping a steady job going on, mainly due to Daffy's looniness. Um, but then one day they meet a scientist working at the local gum factory known as Petunia Pig, um, and she invites them to come work at the gum factory themselves, and they seem to be doing an okay job. But on their first day, Daffy discovers that the gum is being contaminated with a mysterious goo from outer space that is used to mind control everyone on Earth to become mindless zombies in order as part of an evil aliens. Well, I say evil lightly, and I'll talk about that later. But plan to blow up the Earth. At first, no one believes Daffy's plan, but no one believes Daffy is telling the truth. But when Petunia finds out something is going on, because she doesn't trust the new gum itself, as she thinks the new flavor is not, it's just, it's the same flavor, just made, just marketed better. Pretty good concept actually. Porky, Daffy, and Petunia must team up to save the Earth from being blown up and anything else that comes out from outer space. So yeah, this isn't necessarily it. The story's easy to follow, and that's simple enough. And I mean, I guess in many ways you could say that the house sub saving Daphne and Porky trying to save the house is probably not talked about enough when the aliens come in. I mean, it's addressed a little bit, especially during the climax. But yeah, I think the thing that you need to expect is that you're going to see a Looney Tunes movie, and this is the most, um, this is the first film that really goes that way and doesn't have to be hampered by other subjects. Like, I mean, well, in terms of theatrical stuff, because I've seen some of it, of the straight to video stuff. I mean, I've seen a little bit of Bar Humduck, and I've seen Tweety's High Flying Adventure, which were good, but they didn't go full on into what I love about Looney Tunes. A lot of people do. This is the first one that actually feels like a, a cartoon, like from the golden age, like from the 30s and 40s, in particular the era of the Bob Clampett days, because this is what it's mostly inspired by. This is inspired by his use of Daffy and Porky, because well, Porky's still the straight man. I mean, he's always been the straight man in pretty much any of the Looney Tunes shows, but Daffy, they've gone way back to when he was the Looney duck that they was first created by Clampett, and before he became the jealous jerk when Bugs Bunny came around. And I guess the thing to keep in mind with that, I mean, when you look at, obviously, as I said, it's mainly going into this. I guess the one thing people are going to be concerned over is the fact that Daffy and Porky are the only recognizable Looney Tunes in this short. Well, in this film, sorry. Um, yes, you have Petunia, but she's been a character who hasn't been utilized that much out since the 30s and 40s, so they are stretching it back. And every character that they reference is from those eras. Like on the characters that they reference is Beans the cat, who was from the very first cartoon that Porky ever was featured in. He got, and yeah, so that you get the idea. So there's no Bugs, there's no Elmer, there's no Yosemite Sam, there's no Sylvester, there's no Tweety. None of the other characters are in this, which could be a little bit disappointing for some. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are wondering where on earth Bugs Bunny is, and I can maybe picture. Wonder where. Maybe this is what happened to him. Yeah, yeah. So, but I don't think you need to have the other Looney Tunes in this. It works well enough for what we have. And I think it's perfect for it. You don't need these other characters. Focusing on Porky and Daffy is the best thing on this. I mean, and just look at this. I mean, the characterization of the two are really good. I mean, Porky's still a straight man, and Daffy going back to his origin when he was a loony. He was just the loony duck before he became the jealous jerk. I mean, I love the jealous jerk because Daffy's the jealous jerk has some of my favorite moments in my view. I mean, there is a lot that I can go over about Daffy when he is the jealous jerk and all that. But you know, going back to his origins is the best thing in this, and his characterization, their relationship is handled really well. It is great. You don't. It's not too complex, but you don't need it to be. They're great, and I also like the fact that reintroducing Petunia is also really good in this because she's actually kind of a combination of Daffy and Porky's best traits because she is very much a straight thinker and has the stuttering problem and has Porky's stuttering problem, from what I can tell, was a character trait that she had when she was introduced, when she was, well, just Porky's girlfriend when back in the 30s and 40s. But she also has Daffy's zaniness when it comes to her trying to create flavors as a scientist for chewing gum. And her creations are just insane. And provide some of the best laughs. In fact, a lot of the comedy is really, really good. I laughed a lot at some of the stuff. A lot of it with Daffy, a lot of it with Junior. Porky gets a few good moments here and there. And I got to give credit to the performances. Eric Bowser, great work. I mean, obviously Mel Blanc is still going to be everyone's favorite voice, the original voice, and most iconic. But Eric does a really good job, and he's slowly become my favorite actor to play Daffy since Mel. I mean, I like Joe Lasky. He was great too. But yeah, Eric has done a really good job here. And playing Porky, I mean, yeah, he does have. This is one of the few times. He has played him before, but it's not a character that he generally does. He's usually Bugs, and I think he does Sylvester. I think I have to double check that. But yeah, he's really good and fits really well for the story. And yeah, Candy Milo, Grace Petunia, she's great. Um, As and I'm glad that we don't have too many recognized. There's no real recognizable celebrities in this. The only two we have are Wayne Knight, who plays the mayor of Daffy in Porky's hometown, and obviously Peter McNichol, who plays the alien, and he does a really good job, Master Human voice, and both of them do. They do a good job. The animation, my goodness, it's good to see 2D animation like this, hand drawn. I mean, you do have a few CG moments being used for very sporadically, but the highlight, I mean, just look at this animation. It is right back to the golden era of Looney Tunes. It is fantastic. I love it. Great, I can pretty much it just cracks me up. I love I think I also got to give credit to one new character that's introduced in it, which is Farmer Jim, which is Porky and Daffy's surrogate father. He is just insane, like this character, like his design and his animation. It's just, and his voice, like it's just so great. The opening with him and just how much Porky and Daffy actually do still love him even though he's no longer around. But the way he acts, my gosh, that I love that yeah, big time. And I love obviously the references are handled pretty well. I got to give credit to that. And they only used I think two licensed songs in this. One was Brian Adams. Um, Everything I would do, I would do it for you. He's Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves song, and the other is REM's "It's the End of the World as We Know It." And I was kind of expecting that one to show it because the title. I mean, it makes the most sense. Yeah, I really was impressed with this. Yeah, it is really, really, really well done. And and seeing, the two, as I said, the best thing is seeing Porky and Daffy's relationship, and how well they handle things and everything. And, you know, especially when controlling each other, when one needs pushed, the other needs to be pushed back, and vice versa. And, basically, and, throwing continue in this. And it is clear that they do, obviously, Porky trying to limit Daffy's looniness is the biggest thing to keep in mind with this. And, every and when it comes to having to rescue, say, when Petunia gets in trouble, how much they have to change and handle things, and when one needs to be saved or the other, it's pretty clear. Like when you get to say the right before they're abducted by the alien spacecraft, yeah, that yeah, that's just yeah, um, yeah, like that. Porky trying to get over, jumping over the roofs and everything, and Daffy's trying to convince him, just by basically saying stuff like, well, I'll save you, Skipper! Yeah, I kind of wanted to throw a Billy Silent joke somewhere in here. But anyway, I won't. I do have some. I do have to be honest. I do have some nitpicks with this film. No, no! But they are slight ones. They're really really small. Like first off, well, I laughed at a lot of the jokes in this, and they are really funny. There are some that aren't as good, like Daffy's social media career joke, like when they're trying to first find a steady job. That is one of the ones when he does this video of him twerking and all that. It's like, yeah, that's just modern jokes. I'm not too much of a big fan of. Um, Although I will admit, I don't recall any too much toilet humor in this. I mean, there was maybe I don't know, there might have been a few, but I don't recall it. So I am glad they go that way. They did that. But I think the big thing I want to be a little bit critical over, and it's not actually a problem with me because I actually don't mind. But the villain's true plan as to why he's trying to blow up the Earth with bubblegum. Um, Here's the thing. I think it's still funny, but it is obviously going for with the villain have a twist in it, and here's the thing. It's actually in the very first scene of the film, um, it actually does deploy the clue that there is something else that has to be dealt with as well as this alien invader. But yeah, when you find out why he's trying to blow up the Earth and what his ultimate goal is to gain out of it, it could be seen as a bit of a you could be a little bit disappointed and everything, but in my view, I laughed at it. I actually really didn't mind, and I just see it as a good up yours to the Disney twist villains, like which I'm not a big fan of. So I didn't mind, but I will admit, though, there will be those who probably won't like what the villain is after, and yeah, I can understand why that would be a fault, and yeah, as I said, I can see that being rubbing people the wrong way, and it is a bit of a fault in the film.
I hate you.
Oh, come now, Daffy. It's only a nitpick, and I don't mind that. The last one, to be honest. But hey, as I'm saying, this film is fantastic. I really do love it. I really hope a lot of people see this in theaters. It deserves a lot of attention. It is great. Well, all the praise it's getting from critics is great. I really hope that it gets a lot of good. It is a success at the box office. Well, enough for Warner Brothers to say it's a success. And who knows, maybe that might convince them to release Coyote versus Acme. You never know. But this, The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, easily, in my view, their best film in the Looney Tunes history. It's easy, an 8.5 out of 10 has stars. Loved every moment of it. I loved it. It was great to see Porky and Daffy on the big screen. It was great to see them reintroduce Petunia. It is fantastic. Great movie. I definitely think, in my view, if you're gonna watch Snow White, watch this afterwards, so you can experience the bad of cinema, and then you get to the greatness of cinema. Well, actually, no. Oh, change that. You go through the bad of family movies, then you get to the greatness of family movies with this. That's the way I should say it. Yeah. Although I will admit I am a little concerned about whether or not the Minecraft movie will further bury it, considering how Warner Bros. Is marketing that. Yeah, I think I pretty much gave away what my next review will be, but I don't know if I'll go as well, we'll see what happens with that review, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But in the meantime, Asif Reviews is out, and I shall see you for my next review. Ciao!